On this mission, we will learn how to do a cold start, taxi, and takeoff, with a North American Rockwell American twin-turboprop light attack and observation aircraft, developed in the 1960s as a multi-service airplane for counterinsurgency. This mission if the cockpit interior is too dark, activate the before engine start. Flap handle. Yaw damper switch. Check it's off. This external lights master switch. Confirm it is set to external lights, so that the power levers. Confirm they are on the flight idle position. On the real aircraft, ground start is the position of condition levers. Check they are at the feather and fuel shut-off position. The levers have 4 quadrants, from generator switches. Set both to on. The Bronco's instruments power switch. Check it's off. 2 electric inverters, air start switches. TACAN selector switch. Check it's off. The windshield wiper switch. Confirm it's off. The aircraft's real switch is not yet simulated, but you can operate the white anti-collision switch. Set to on, to external light switch, formation lights. Taxi landing light. Let's leave it off until we interior lights. As desired. Console, instruments. Flood. Increase the cockpit floodlights to suit your preference. Battery switch, set to on. The Bronco is powered by 2 Garrett T76G turboprop engines, rated at 715 shaft horsepower. Each engine drives an 8.5-foot, 3-blade, fully reversible aluminum propeller. At military power setting, the engine RPM is 41,730, while the propellers rotate at 2,000 RPM. Either engine can be started first, but for this training we will start first the right engine. Right start switch. Set to right condition lever. Advance into flight at 6 to 10% RPM by clicking on the lever handle. Right start switch. Set to run to mimic the operation for a moment. Monitor the starting engine's RPM and temperature gauges. Once the engine reaches idle, set it to minimum RPM. Instruments power switch. Set to inverter number 1. With the right engine now fully started, left condition lever. Advance into flight at 6 to 10% RPM by clicking on its lever handle. Left start switch. Set to run to mimic the monitor the starting engine's RPM and temperature gauges. Once the engine reaches idle, set it to minimum RPM. Instruments power switch. Set to inverter. Good. Now leave it at trim. Check. Set appropriate pitch trim for takeoff. For normal takeoff, use 1/2 unit of nose-up trim. TACAN. Set as required. For this mission, tune station 32 X-ray and set to transmit-receive mode. Flight controls. Check for full travel on both flight stick and rudder. Flaps. Check operation. While performing the propeller maneuver. Switch the taxi landing light on. Next, increase throttle and release brakes. The aircraft will begin to move forward. Press the wheel brake. Good, the wheel brakes are working. You will need to steer the aircraft. Taxi straight, and upon reaching the taxiway, turn to the left by slightly pressing the left wheel brake. Once the aircraft is on mid-turn, press opposite wheel brake to straighten it out. You are now on the taxiway. Strive to keep the aircraft centered over the yellow taxi line. This will serve you to practice your wheel brake steering ability. Note that starting at 25 to 30 knots, the rudder begins to have your authority, so that you may then steer using rudder pedals alone, without toe braking. No speeding on the taxiway. Keep the speed to no more than 40 knots. On the next intersection, turn the aircraft to the right, towards the start of runway 22. Stop the aircraft just short of runway 22. Good. On this position we would normally call up air traffic control, but as we currently don't have a working radio, you can use F10 to check on nearby air traffic. If no other aircrafts are near, enter the runway, align with its centerline and stop there. Before takeoff. Flaps, as desired. For this mission, use half flaps. Condition levers. Advance to its maximum position. Take off. Hold wheel brakes. Advance throttle to maximum, check engine instruments and then release brakes. Maintain the aircraft on the center line, using rudder. At 100 knots, pull back on the flight stick to rotate attitude. Lift off. Adjust pitch trim to 10 degrees nose up. Once airborne, retract landing gear. Above 110 knots, retract flaps. Ensure both are fully retracted before exceeding 160 knots. Condition levers. Move back into normal. Maintain the runway heading and climb to 3,000 feet. Yaw damper switch. Set to on, if desired. No speeding on the taxiway. Keep the speed to no more than 40 knots.